Hi, this is Will with My Spiritual Clarity, and today's video is about when you have a hard time tooting your own horn. So if you already have a wonderful referral-based business, or you're already making the social media posts that you need to make in order to attract the clients that you want, this isn't for you. This is only if you haven't yet reached that place where you've got a full flow of referral clients or some other business strategy that's working. So usually when we feel that we have to toot our own horn, or put ourselves out there more, or fill in the blank, it's because we haven't reached that goal yet, which might seem obvious, but I wanted to make that reminder here because the only reason we feel we have to toot our horn is because we want something. And if you're new to my videos, that was an energy twitch. I might explain that later. And I find the biggest challenge, or one of the biggest challenge for my clients, who are usually women, usually over 40 or 50, have a certain kind of cultural or even religious background. It's very challenging to just be clear about, I want this. I'm willing to receive that. Can I have this, or give me that? I find that that's usually part of the deeper challenge that's going on. So when it comes to this tooting your own horn piece, it's actually because of the family that you grew up in. It wasn't safe to just say, I'm amazing. I love this. Can I have that? Give me that. Or you saw your parents not being able to do that. And unfortunately, it usually seems to be that women are struggling with this more than men. That women still today, in the way our society is formed, that's still part of the upbringing for most of the women that I talk to. And hopefully we can change that in our current generations, and hopefully it is changing. But my clients, like I say, are usually of around 40, 50, 60. So when you're having a hard time tooting your own horn, there's two parts to it. I mean, there's a lot. There's so much to unpack here, but I'm going to try and make a 5-minute video instead of a 25-minute video. So one is the cultural beliefs. Some of the cultures that I work the most with, and so I'm more familiar with, Dutch people, for the Netherlands. There's a huge part of that culture where who do you like? Don't be so special. Normal is special enough. There's even a phrase in Dutch that I can't remember, but it's basically normal is special enough. Don't try to be extra anything, because that's enough. The Bible Belt of the United States, there's a huge part of the Christian faith down there that's had a big influence, and now it's a cultural influence where it's not okay to boast. It's not okay to, don't be too big for your britches, is a great expression that people in that area know very well. Parts of Asia, I've had a number of clients of Korean background or Chinese, Japanese, where it's just you work really hard, and therefore your work should speak for itself. You shouldn't be boastful, or you shouldn't be too proud, or talk about yourself and how amazing you are. And that makes it really difficult if you're doing any kind of marketing or visibility work for your business. If you're always deferring or always playing it cool in that way, it makes it a little challenging. And also parts of India as well. I've noticed in my travels in India, there is this wonderful culture of clarity and working hard and being amazing and conscientious of other people and respectful, but also don't be too big. Don't try and be too much. And Canada has that as well, where I'm from. Every culture has their own flavor, but again, these are just some examples, and they're the ones that I'm most familiar with because of my life experience, to give you an idea of the cultural reasons. Then there's the religious part. The Protestant, the Pilgrims, especially in the United States, that has had a huge influence. The who do you think you are? There's the story of Icarus. Don't fly too high to the sun, or the gods might feel that you're trying to challenge them or be too much like them, and they'll strike you down. It's a big part of many religions of the world. And then family, and it's deeply embedded in many families. Don't be too big, don't be too special or bright, and yet they want you to be special and bright and succeed in life, but don't get too big or bright. It's very confusing. So this whole thing of who do you think you are? So we don't want to toot our own horn and make a post on Facebook or LinkedIn and say, I'm amazing, you should hire me, because it feels weird or it feels off. Now, there's two main reasons why. One is that it actually is off, and that's not the strategy that you should use. It shouldn't be your focus. Maybe for you, the focus really is asking for referrals, creating referrals, and going that relationship direction. I think that's always a part of a good business strategy. So one is that it's just out of alignment the way you've been doing it. And there's a second reason, which I'll get to in a moment, but a story to illustrate that. For a long time, I was doing my sales process the way that many experts had taught me to do it. And there were all these great questions. And these were even heart-centered approaches from heart-centered coaches and sales trainers. But I still didn't like the questions, and it felt awkward and weird to use them. And it wasn't a practice thing. I had practiced them many times. And even after 20, 50, 100 times, it still felt out of alignment. It still felt wrong. I never wanted to ask the question. So I re-engineered it to be a very simple sales process for myself that felt in alignment. And I started loving my sales conversations. And they were very short and brief at the end of a free session. And for anyone who's super business minded, my sign-up ratio is still about 1 in 4. For every 10 free sessions I would do, 2 or 3 new clients would sign up. So my sales ratio was fine. I wasn't suffering in that way. So you've got to make sure that your strategy is actually in alignment and doesn't trigger that imposter complex or the who do you think you are, don't toot your own horn, don't be too big for your britches, don't be the tall poppy, all of that. So the second one, and where I focus most of my time with my clients, is the actual beliefs, the limiting beliefs, the stories that get in the way, that create that experience of, I don't want to try to be too big, too special, stand out too much. It feels literally unsafe when I make those kinds of posts that say, I'm amazing at what I do, you should hire me. And I'm oversimplifying that. Of course, you don't use those actual words, but there are stories, there are beliefs, limiting beliefs that really get in the way. There are voices that we hear in our head from our parents that until you identify them and energetically return them back to whence they came, will continue to plague you in your online visibility, in your business growth, in your ability to truly own your expertise. So I'll give you one quick example, and then we'll see if there's 1 or 2 beliefs that we can clear kind of live on this video right now. So every time I clean my stove here in my home, and my mom was just here for a visit, and she was helping, she was cleaning the kitchen. I've got Maeve, my daughter, all to myself for these 4 days. My wife is away on work, so she was just helping out in the kitchen. And every time I clean a stove, it doesn't matter where I am. I remember cleaning a stove in London, England. I remember cleaning a stove in Spain. And, there's rings around there's the ring electric stove, and then the ring that you lift up underneath it, the tray. Every time I clean a stove, I do a quick little lift and I wipe. I don't take it all off unless it's a day for a deep clean. And every time I do that, I hear a voice in my head that says, well, it's not perfect, but at least it's done. And it took me a decade to realize that wasn't my voice. That was my mom's voice. My mom's voice has been rattling around in my head, and that's just the one that I became aware of. There are hundreds, if not thousands of other ones where my mom, my dad, my whoever has had that influence. So when those are getting in the way, of course it's impossible to toot your own horn, because you've got to get through your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa on both sides, your potential religious upbringing, cultural upbringing. Like there's so much to get through for you to get to be authentically you, to just be you. But once you clear those, and that's the work that I do, you're able to be you, naturally, fully you. And when someone says, what do? You can express it clearly. Or when you make that Facebook post or LinkedIn post, you can clearly say, here are the results that I offer. If you're this kind of person, I would love to work with you. Please reach out for a free assessment or paid assessment, whatever your process is. So I hope this can give you an understanding of more of where it all comes from and what you can do about it. So let me give you a taste or an example of how we actually get clear of all this. So let's see what belief wants to come up to clear in the moment. And yes, this is another energy twitch. How do I get in line with the energy? All the ways you've been listening to your parents' stories or beliefs about being more visible online or tooting your own horn, thinking that they're your voices. Would you be willing to destroy that at the point of creation? Whew, almost. I was kind of half on the mark. The belief that those voices have your best interest at heart and that they are keeping you safe. Would you be willing to destroy that at the point of creation? And here's the kicker. All the ways that you have abdicated the throne of your own knowing in favor of others' opinions. Ow. Would you be willing to destroy that at the point of creation? Okay, 11-minute video. I try to make a 3-minute video, and it's just big stuff. There's a lot to unpack. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope this has been valuable. If you'd like more info, please like this video down below, subscribe to my YouTube channel, come find me on Facebook, or you can come and have your own free session at myspiritualclarity.com. And I would love to meet you and support you in being more visible, being more you, dropping the overwhelm and any feelings of inauthenticity as you expand you and your work out in the world. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now.